This is Checklist Trainer's Introduction to the World at checklisttrainer.com. The overview for this video is to give an introduction to what Checklist Trainer is, some of the motivation and background for building it, and then jump in and do a quick demo of what we've got so far. I'll be making a series of these videos just giving quick product updates, things that have been built out. And if you've got any thoughts or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. You can jump over to checklisttrainer.com. This is the landing page here. You just pop your email address in, click get notified, and it'll go straight to me. The other way is to email straight to checklisttrainer@gmail.com. That'll go straight to me as well, and I'd love to hear any feedback. So what is Checklist Trainer? It's a web-based application you can access from anywhere. It's intended to be used by a wide range of pilots to learn new checklists and also practice them and stay fresh. The pain that it's trying to solve is different aircraft have different configurations and might have different checklists even within the same model, and that can be really tricky to learn. My background is I started flying in 2013. I hold a New Zealand commercial pilot's license with a multi-engine instrument rating, where I'm originally from, and I now live in the US and hold a private pilot instrument rating in the United States. And through all of that training, checklists have been really, really important to have nailed, but at the same time, they can be kind of challenging to learn. It might be recommended that you take the checkmate checklist home, or the flight manual and chair fly checklist at home, but maybe it's tricky to remember where the circuit breakers were, or the fuel shutoff valve is, or maybe there's different engine instrumentation on your airplane that you're learning about. So that's one. Maybe you have a photograph of the airplane that you're flying, so that solves most of that problem. But running through a checklist and trying to remember, did you get all the steps right or not without any kind of feedback, that can be challenging too. So one of the solutions to that is to grab a friend and go through it with them. But once you've done that a few hundred times, that can get really painful, and maybe you're back by yourself after that. So anyway, Checklist Trainer is designed to solve a bunch of those problems. Let's jump in and see what it looks like. So as I mentioned, it's still under development. The intention today is just to run through what there is so far and talk a little bit about where we're going next. Try that again. Okay, got the password right. So around here, this comes to your dashboard, and as I mentioned, the intention is to work with the aircraft that you're actually flying. So we've got an aircraft here that I've taken photos of. We'll click into here, and you're taken to all of the different procedures. So we've got emergency procedures at the top, obviously very important to know. And then we go down here and we've got normal procedures as well, which might be things like go around procedure, or a short field landing. Exactly how should you be doing that. So those, I think, are really important to know about as well. So I'll jump into learn. Let's give an overview of the three modes. So learn mode guides you through step by step. Practice mode gives you instant feedback. So it doesn't prompt you what the next step is, but it gives you instant feedback. And then test mode doesn't give you any feedback until the end of the test, and then you kind of get a score and a time. And I'll just do a quick overview. I'll dive into each of these in depth in a future video, but for right now, we'll just take a quick look. So in learn mode, the first thing we'll notice is that we've got some tasks on the left. We've got all the tasks in the checklist laid out for us, and then this flight deck viewer on the right-hand side. So I want to make it really easy for people to use their own aircraft, right? And so one of the challenges is that you might have controls down on a pedestal or up on the ceiling or doors or even external. And so you can upload as many of these as you want. You can click through and get into different areas of the aircraft. And here you can zoom in, zoom out to see any areas that you might need to look at specifically. We'll reset the view back to that. And then The idea of this mode, learning mode, is to teach you what the checklist is. So we see the first item is airspeed 70 knots. Go to airspeed, click this action icon here, and we get a little menu that drops down. We choose 70 knots, and we see that that task has been completed. Fuel shutoff valve off, and so this walks us through the whole checklist. Again, we'll visit this in another video in the future. Switching to practice mode, we've got a similar layout except that none of the tasks are filled out for us. It does give you instant feedback, and if you get really stuck, then you've got this hint down here that will show you what the next step is. But we remember that airspeed 70 is the first item here, and then I think it was mags off. No, it wasn't, so nothing happened here. Maybe we're a little stuck. Okay, so we'll go down to fuel shutoff valve off. So that's a quick overview of how practice mode works. And then test mode is the third mode. This one has no feedback except for it will tell you what completed actions you've done, but it won't give you any feedback on if they're right or not until the end of the test. If we click, actually I'll note that all of these are disabled until we start the test. Click start test, and now they're enabled. So we can go back to our airspeed. And the idea of the timer is, it can be, if you want to use it, you can. If not, just ignore it. But the idea is to try and increase the speed, particularly for critical ones, but still getting them really correct. So as we run through, we click done, and we get marked on what we've done so far. So we can see we hit 2 out of 7 steps, took 20 seconds. And actually, we'll give a quick demo of what it looks like to get a wrong one as well. It'll mark you, it gives you feedback on right or wrong responses. So that's the overview of where things are at for now. The next big thing that I'd like to build out is the aircraft builder. And so this is where you would upload photos of your own aircraft and define your own checklists. All of these checklists in here are dynamic. And so they're designed that, whether it's a flight school or your own aircraft that's got modifications, maybe it's a home built, something like that, you can use those as well, not just stock planes. And then the second thing is that I think, we review checklists for, particularly for weekend warriors like me, you might review the checklist for a flight review or a club checkout or something like that. But, in the in-between times, I think it's really important to stay fresh. And so I'd like to build out a system that will email out maybe once or twice a week, just send you a random checklist to run through. It'll only take a few minutes, but it'd be a great way to stay fresh. So those are some of the ideas coming down the pipe. If you've got any thoughts or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Again, you can jump over to checklisttrainer.com, pop your email in, or just email checklisttrainer@gmail.com, and I'd love to hear from you. Thanks.